Okay, today we're going to be testing out the double tap 10mm, the 180 grain bonded defense jacketed hollow point. It's showing at 1,305 feet per second in a 4.6 inch barrel, and I will be using the Glock 20 for that platform. Reviewing the bullet, I don't know if you can see it on the camera, has a very deep cavity, a lot deeper than the 165, which I'll be testing here soon. I'll be shooting the water jugs. I've got a piece of leather and 4 pieces of cotton towel to represent some clothing, so let's see what happens. It was right at 16.5 inches of penetration. The bonded definitely worked, no jacket separation, and it's right at an inch, about a perfect flower, pretty uniformed, very powerful, very impressive hit. Alright, we're using the double tap ammo in the 10mm 165 grain bonded defense jacketed hollow point. It's showing 1,400 feet per second and hitting at 724 pounds out of a 4.6 inch barrel, and I will be using the Glock 20 for that. As I mentioned with the 180, this 165 doesn't seem to have as deep of a cavity, but the only real difference I've noticed between the two. Again, I'll be shooting through the water jugs. I've got a piece of leather in the front and 4 layers of a cloth towel to represent some clothing. So let's see what happens. Okay, after cutting that out, again, it was about 16.5 inches, about the same as the 180. It's right at 3/4 of an inch, very uniformed compared to the 180. And here's a comparison between the two. No jacket separation on either one, and it was rather impressive also. The 135 grain jacketed hollow point, they're showing 1,600 feet per second and hitting at 767 pounds out of a 4.6 inch barrel. Again, I'll be using the Glock 20. Checking the cavity on this. Looks like it's going to be pretty nasty. That's what I've heard. And same thing as before. Leather jacket with the liner. 4 pieces of cloth to represent some clothing. And let's see what happens. There's some fragmentation sticking into the first jug. Looks like the copper jacketing. In the second jug, found some more fragmentation. And in the third jug, I found this. The core. It's showing a little over a 1/2 inch. and I found it about 15 inches in of penetration. And so it looked like there's some really nasty fragmentation going on with this, and along with some decent penetration at about 15 inches of what's left here. I don't really know what weight retention it is, but it feels awfully light. So there you have it. Okay, that was the 180 grain double tap 10 millimeter. This is a 2-inch thick seasoned oak. It went through that, through the water jug, came out the other end. I couldn't really tell where it hit on that post behind it. Okay, this is what we ended up with. It's kind of oblong, showing over 3/4 of an inch that way and right at 3/4 of an inch that way. It was pretty impressive penetration.